TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations. Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, tensions are seemingly escalating on Israel's northern front with both Lebanon and Syria. In an extraordinary decree of justice, the Islamic Republic is held accountable for its plot to carry out acts of terror on European soil. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov hosted his Jordanian counterpart Ayman Safadi, during which the two top diplomats discussed the latest developments related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Tensions are seemingly escalating on Israel's northern front with both Lebanon and Syria. Less than 48 hours after an IDF surveillance drone crashed inside Lebanese territory on Sunday, an uncommon incident occurred when surface-to-air missiles were fired toward an Israeli unmanned aerial vehicle, a Hermes 450, which was conducted routine activity in Lebanese airspace south of Sidon. While initial reports by Hezbollah affiliate networks claimed that the Israeli UAV, capable of both surveillance and offensive missions, was shot down, the IDF spokesperson's unit informed TV7 that the aircraft was not hit and continued its mission as planned. Separately, military officials revealed to TV7 that an investigation has been launched into the circumstances which prompted Hezbollah's decision to fire upon the Israeli UAV. They explained that if the aircraft would have been hit, it would have triggered an Israeli retaliatory strike against the Iranian proxy in Lebanon. Meanwhile, in Syria, at approximately 10:42 last night, unidentified aircraft fired a barrage of missiles toward a number of military installations manning both Syrian troops and Iranian proxy militias in the countryside of Quneitra Governorate. In tandem, a scientific studies and research center in Syria's Hama Governorate was also subject to an aerial bombardment. Naturally, in light of the sophisticated characteristics of the attack, Damascus officials were quick to attribute responsibility to the Israeli Air Force, while also claiming that the majority of the incoming precision-guided missiles were intercepted by Syria's aerial defense array. Nevertheless, according to a number of credible sources in Syria, all of the targets were successfully bombed by the unidentified aircraft. Separately, the IDF spokesperson's unit did not confirm nor deny its involvement in response to TV7's request for comment. However, it is interesting to know that less than 3 hours before the alleged Israeli attack was executed, a significant arms shipment from Iran had been delivered to one of the targeted installations. Turning to the northern Belgian city of Antwerp, where, in an extraordinary decree of justice, the Islamic Republic is held accountable for its plot to carry out acts of terror on European soil. In a first unprecedented trial of an Iranian diplomat accused of planning to bomb a meeting of an Iranian exiled opposition group in France, a Belgian court rejected Tehran's demands for immunity, sentencing the Iranian diplomat to 20 years in prison alongside 3 of his culprits, Iranian agents who were sentenced to 15, 17, and 18 years respectively.
C'est un jugement exemplaire, long, très fouillé, qui démontre 2 choses. Un diplomate ne peut pas faire n'importe quoi, il a une immunité de fonction, il n'a pas une immunité pour les actes criminels et terroristes qu'il a commis. La deuxième chose fondamentale, c'est de reconnaître la responsabilité de l'État iranien. L'État iranien est considéré comme responsable, il n'est pas à la cause, mais il est responsable par ses services, il est impliqué, a dit le tribunal, dans ce qui aurait pu être un carnage, c'est-à-dire plusieurs milliers de personnes qui seraient tuées. Les peines de prison, cela ne nous regarde pas parce que nous sommes partie civile, mais nous pouvons constater la fermeté du tribunal qui, dans un jugement très long, fera date et nous permettra de considérer qu'à partir d'aujourd'hui, pour les États démocratiques, l'État iranien est un État terroriste.
Despite the evidence holding up in court, considering the fact that all of the charged Iranians were caught red-handed with improvised explosive devices in their possession, the Islamic Republic continues to deny its involvement in the foiled terror attack, claiming it to be a European ploy. And while a Belgian court managed to hold the Islamic Republic of Iran accountable for its malign behavior on European soil, the International Criminal Court in The Hague passed a ruling in favor of an Iranian case which claims the court's jurisdiction to deliberate the legality of US-imposed sanctions against Iran implemented under the Trump administration over the Ayatollah regime's malign behavior throughout the Middle East and beyond.
By 15 votes to 1, finds consequently that it has jurisdiction on the basis of Article 21, Paragraph 2 of the Treaty of Amity, Economic Relations and Consular Rights of 1955, to entertain the application filed by the Islamic Republic of Iran on 16 July 2018, and that the said application is admissible.
It is important to explain that the Islamic Republic is arguing its position based on a 1955 bilateral friendship pact between Washington and Tehran, a document signed decades before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. However, despite US raising the absurdity of Iran's case, the court decided to reject Washington's preliminary objections to the ICC's jurisdiction, effectively moving forward to deliberate the case. Naturally, the U.S. State Department reacted with profound disappointment.
I do. I think in the first instance, I would say that we have great respect for the International Court of Justice. At the same time, we are disappointed that the court did not accept our well-founded legal arguments, that the case Iran brought is outside the court's jurisdiction, and the court should not hear it. While we do not agree with the court's reasoning, today's judgment is a preliminary ruling, not a decision on the merits. While Iran may seek to frame this decision as somehow supporting its view on the merits, the ICJ's rules and case law make plain that a decision on preliminary objections does not prejudge the merits. In the next phase of this case, we'll explain why Iran's claim has no merits. We remain clear-eyed about the dangers posed by Iran's malign activities, and that's, again, why we are undertaking the important diplomacy that we are at the moment and undertaking those consultations that I've referred to.
When asked whether the United States intends to signal Iran its intentions vis-à-vis returning into compliance with the 2015 nuclear agreement, the State Department spokesperson said Washington would only do so in consultations with its allies, tactical partners, and the U.S. Congress.
So when it comes to those signals, again, that's something we want to make sure we've coordinated closely and calibrated closely with partners, allies, and that we have consulted closely with members of Congress as well. So again, this is, today is February 3rd. We're less than 2 weeks into this administration. We were serious when we said that we want to undertake those consultations with a range of parties, and that's precisely what we're doing.
Spokesperson Price was also asked whether the Biden administration has set a red line for Iran's rapidly developing nuclear program after the Islamic Republic informed the International Atomic Energy Agency that it had installed new and more advanced centrifuges at its two main underground nuclear sites, effectively increasing its enrichment capacity × 4.
We entered the Iran deal in 2015 with the P5+1. Those are a set of allies and, in a couple cases, tactical partners that we want to make sure we are coordinating with. Again, members of Congress as well. So I don't want to set any red lines from here. Certainly not today. Again, we're not here to negotiate from the podium. We're here to undertake those consultations in the first instance behind closed doors.
Making a sharp turn to Moscow, where Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov hosted his Jordanian counterpart Ayman Safadi, during which the two top diplomats discussed the latest developments related to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In a joint press briefing, Minister Lavrov emphasized Russia's stance on the issue.
По палестинской проблеме у нас единое мнение о необходимости продвигать задачу двухгосударственного решения. Мы приветствуем нормализацию отношений Израиля с целым рядом арабских стран, но это, конечно же, не должно использоваться для того, чтобы создание палестинского государства было предано забвению.
Moscow's top diplomat went on to assert that the direct talks between Israel and the Palestinians would only be possible once the attitude of the Israelis becomes clear following the upcoming Jerusalem elections scheduled for March. When asked whether it was viable to realize intra-Palestinian reconciliation between the rival Ramallah-based Fatah and Gaza-based Hamas factions, Lavrov noted that the so-called Palestinian split is gradually but consistently being resolved. Thank you for watching us. As part of TV7 Israel's prayer initiative, I would like to encourage you today to join myself and the team here in Jerusalem to lift up Russia once again in prayer for its salvation and peace, alongside prayers for our persecuted brothers and sisters around the world. In addition to our ongoing prayers, of course, for the peace of Jerusalem, the salvation of Israel, for all those who are impacted by the corona contagion and its numerous ramifications worldwide. I'm Jonathan Hassan wishing you an Erev Tov U'Mevorach, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.